ready for some boom, baby, boom, rise and shine. Even this morning marijuana motivation time, your boy Marky saying, ooh, it keeps shining on me. You can see it coming through the clouds. I gotta get in my exercise. I just found out my boy John at the print shop in Vegas had a stroke at 55, 57. And it's a stroke of bad luck. And it's just opened my eyes to how much exercise we all need, even in our elderly age or even at 45. It doesn't matter what time it is, there's always going to be a stroke of bad luck, something unpredictable, something completely out of the blue, and you haven't prepared for. And it happens to us all. It's not something that's just going to be walking around and it just rains on you. No ma'am, no sir, you can expect to lose things in this life as well as gain some wisdom, hopefully, with the morning motivation, Saints Addiction, High Life, let's go. So it's a sad event. Like I was just telling my friend, like I'm on my morning walk and he looked at the time and I said, man, I'm getting my exercise, bro. Like it's 11:11 or a little after, and it's just important to me, you know. My health has always been important to me, and mostly my mental health, because if I don't keep that correct, then everything else falls apart, like eating fast foods or, you know, getting in bad moods or doing things that give me that kind of tude where I don't want to put in the kind of effort that needs to take place for me to be a functioning human being. I tend to shut down like anybody else. I'll be like, all I want to do is sleep or eat or fuck my way out of my mind. And it turns out to be just a big old cover up, because you still have to establish inside your head how to like reframe from being in that negative position instead of everything. You look great. Yeah. Look at her. She's all fashionable. She gave me a smile. And even that right there was just like an eye-opening experience for me that shit, life is short. You know, at 45, I only got 10 years to live. And what if I get a stroke and my left side of my face starts drooping and my brain doesn't function? And what's important to me? And I was telling him, you know, his daughter is the same size, about 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, whatever, you know, little girl size, as his daughter, Nella. And she's a beautiful young black girl, you know, bright, shiny, smart, you know, has the whole world in front of her. And even in her young age, she finds out that her dad gets a stroke. And it didn't matter that he has a cool truck, and it doesn't matter that he's making millions a year or whatever the fuck it is. Your health is your wealth. I don't give a fuck who you are, white, black, Asian, you know, I don't care if male, female, kid. Health is wealth, and especially mental health. And then you go through things in your life where you're just like, oh, I love these beautiful trees. Where you're like, okay, I thought I had challenges. This is how you know it's fall, because all this yellow brown shit. You can say it's the summertime, you don't need this. So I'm like, it's kind of warm, but you know, what do you call this yellow stuff on the ground? Summer sparkles. I made that joke earlier with them, but I mean, it's just about health, man. And I've been editing all my videos. I'm almost done with them all. Got it all the way out till December. Probably going to be out till February with all the posting and scheduling and everything. So that's like, you know, 6 months of just straight posting, you know, 4 or 5 videos a day, all automated thanks to, you know, post in a sec. Now we can do video in a sec too, where all these things are happening so quickly, you know, that I don't even have to worry about getting up in the morning and posting. It's freeing up my time to actually live my life and go outside and do something with my body and do something with my time and do something to this mind, so it doesn't play against me, that this is a fresh day, that yeah, sure, I'm still back at the print shop and it's still the same guys every morning and we run out of things to say and the conversations have been worn out because you get to see each other every day, but not every day is the same. You never know if it's going to be an up or a down, and who's to even say it's so black or white, you know? Like, it's not so yin and yang. It's this flow of life where you're like, did I even get? And then they're gonna go to the murky and relax, and I'm appreciating that, because you do have to get out of your rhythm, you do got to get out of the rhyme, and you do got to get out on time, and that's what it is. Morning. Hey, I said hi to you yesterday and you didn't even hear me. You were glued to your phone. Yo, I was like, hey, what's up? I could have touched you and you didn't even see me. She got the So yeah, it's one of those things where we can get out of that, off of our phone, or out of our mind, or out of the zone, or whatever we go to be in rigmarole, or a robotic response, or something that's automated, right? Then we can free ourselves to actually live our lives with when it's being stimulated. Like, I have different stimulation this morning to go on the morning walk. Not only have I been sore and my mind's all bad, but it's also one of those things, good morning, where I get to fucking get outside. I get to get this fresh air. I get to be next to the forest. I get to go, smoke my little bit of weed and edit these videos and look at this life that I lived. And I go, holy shit, there I am getting all fresh to death out of the ocean, my beard all wet, playing frisbee with my friends on the island in Thailand. Or holy crap, that's me sitting and chilling at the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, and being able to absorb all those things and look at all the birds that are trapped in the ceiling, or the cats that are actually inside the mosque. And like, a dude was laying down, and then they busted me for laying down on my back, just to be like, I love my life. I love this life. And to scream it to the heavens that I have lived this life, that I have challenged it, that I lived before I died. And that's the message from John. He was like, go, bro. I didn't start having kids till I was 50, bro. And then he goes on to say, he's like, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could travel too. And I'm like, hell yes, dude. To do something before you die has actually been the success of my life. It might not be millions of dollars. Sure, I make my business and it's international, and that's all that I wish for, that I could travel and enjoy things like this, like different weather, the freshest of air. Anytime I start getting stressed, I throw that fresh air right up my nostrils, man, and smoke it down, because that's what makes us alive, that I can even be next to the trees and the wildflowers, and, parks, and park and spark, and chill the fuck out and stretch my life out and stretch my limbs, because before it seizes up, before there is no other option, when you're in the hospital counting the popcorn, that was the word what I was looking for the other day. I was like, what the fuck am I trying to say? It's the popcorn on the ceiling. I can look at the leaves and the trees and the pine cones, instead of, have a revelation while I'm in the hospital before it's too late. I already had a flash from my life. I was 33 when it happened, when I fell off the motorbike in Thailand. But true story, bro, I fell down like a sack of rocks, bro. Boom, down goes Fraser. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200 over an hour of, like, what was it? The first hour of being in Thailand, I fell down on the ground. And look at this beautiful clouds. It's about 20 degrees. It's not too bad out here. And you start seeing the leaves and the changing, and that's what it is. It's a connection with nature, to say, hey, the day has changed. Sure, it went down and went up and went so fast. Yesterday you work all the way to about 4 or 5 o'clock. You go hang out, eat, come back at 10 o'clock, sleep, and boom, you're back in the game. It's not much time. But in my mind, to take it for a walk, when I went all the way down here, I was down by those parks right over on the other side. I guess I could show you where I was at, but I kind of want to go across the bridge. It's one of my favorite things to do in the morning, as you can see why. It's beautiful, but to leave where my mind was, right? The idea that, as long as I stack $300 a month, and as long as I have investments, and as long as I have a job and a condo and a car and a career, everything will be fine. And it won't be. I would never have this river time. I would never have the time to reflect and be myself and actually connect with nature and my body and my soul. Hello, shine on me. This type of thing makes it worthy of my life. That I had a dream that I would design all over the world and go worldwide. Let me take off the jacket and chill a bit with you here. This is nice weather. And I want to stretch out too this morning. I want to do the stretch and smoke and do all these things. You know what I mean? I don't even have a stand, but I still want to do them. But yeah, it was one of those things where I had blocked most of my blessings. I had been stuck in my own way. I couldn't get out of my body. My stomach was so big. Now I can lift up my I'm not super fit, but I can see a little bit of average. You know what I mean? I can feel my joints and my skin and connect within, because if I don't exercise the demons will exercise me. And I mean that in the most what's the word? What's the exorcist type way, where all of a sudden they come out of us. Oh shit, there's a fucking, look at this guy chilling. There's a little, he's looking to take off. He's doing the butt stuff. I think he's trying to take off in the air. He create a parachute and then take off. That would be super dope to watch. Look, he's trying to catch the air. Look at that. Look. What are you doing? You going somewhere? Are you going to my jacket so I can find you later? That would be awesome. You know? But life is short, bro. We think it's going to live forever. Let me take my jacket off. There he goes. I knew it. I knew he had a frame. Look, he's flying. Look, he's in the motherfucking air flying. There you go, bro. Go be free. Yeah, go be free. The flying spider. Get off my, hey, you, get off my cloud. You don't know me and you don't know my style. To be able to get inside of my limbs, you know when you're talking to yourself, you know when you're in alignment, you know when you're doing right by yourself. I was thinking the other day, I smashed the Big Mac and chicken nuggets, and I was like, I was feeling so strong. You know, look at these guns, baby, men's workout tanks, baby. You don't want none. You know what I'm saying? And first feeling good. There's my boy. He always pulls up next to me with his dog. Look at him. He's fucking full on stretching and smoking. Like, you wish you could put your leg up like that. Let me get my smoke on too. It's time for the morning motivation. You already know what time it is. Stretch out these limbs, stretch out this mind, and boom, join Weed Club. Got my morning motivation right here. But, you know, life goes by so fast. What's up, bro? He didn't even hear me. Let's see him. See him? Like, he's got his whole legs up. But you need to do that. You got to get out of your mind. You got to get out of your head. You got to get out of the room. You got to get off the couch. You got to get past your excuses and start going into life. Because, like, hey, bro, good to see you. I feel like he gave me kind of a shock thumbs up, but I wanted to say what's up to him. He was like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, shit, bro. I see you all the time. You say hi to me. And as soon as I say hi, he's like, what? Like, it's only me and you on this bridge. But it's only you and your life. And between birth to the grave, it's going to determine what that's going to be like. Like, nobody else gets to write the script. It's your chapter. It's your novel. And only you are writing it. And you're going to say, today, I'm going to do something different. Today, I'm not going to end up on the couch for 3 hours straight playing on my phone and then trying to wake up and do something, go get something to eat, come back on the couch and do it again for another 3 hours. Today, I'm going to make my will be done, thy will be done, and I'm going to will myself into something that was different, something that's out of my comfort zone, something that gets me to do something different than what I'm doing right now. And that's what I've been grateful for. You know, I've been grateful to see all these places that I've been, and Germany and the Reichstag and some of these fucking museums and all this fresh air. And yeah, sure, my joints hurt, and sure, I gotta sleep on the couch, and yeah, I'm not a multi-millionaire yet, but I'm not in the hospital, right? Like, I gotta reinforce it and reframe the thought, right? I'm not inside. We outside, you know what I mean? And I do get to still smoke my weed. And I even found a joint the other day when I thought I had nothing. And it always has something, you know, it always has something for me, you know, the ability to stretch my limbs and connect with my body. And it's all that I wanted, you know, when I'm looking at myself swimming in Thailand, and I'm like, that's all I need, bro, is a fresh coconut water every morning, eat fresh fruits, build it up inside of myself. So I'm grateful for my body, men's workout tanks, don't make me flex, bitch. And then that I can chill the fuck out and smoke my weed too. Morning motivation, let's go. Definitely join Weed Club. This is Saints Addiction for a reason. And exercise the demons. Don't let them exercise you. Don't let your life go by without you living it. And I think that's the most sneakiest. Ooh, that's tasty. Subversive. It's the sedation. You know, it's so chill. Like, I love chilling. Trust and believe that. That's one of my number one hobbies, is just hanging out. It's so tasty. But I also like doing, you know, I like getting my videos done. I like editing them. I like having them all scheduled for me so I can go be free and do this in the morning and not sit there on my phone, the whole fucking time. I can go in my mind, reflect on my life, think proper thoughts, not improper thoughts. And I don't mean sexually, always think sexually. I mean, deviously. Like, when I'm thinking, oh man, I fucked up in that relationship, I reframe it and go, at least I had love, At least I had love, made love, and at least I tried love. Maybe it didn't stick around, but at least I gave it a shot. You know what I mean? And for sure, when I go back, I would have still been selling those cars, probably still doing cocaine and going out of my fucking mind, wasting my life. And that goes to your boy, what's his name? From Pulp Fiction. What's his name? Quentin Tarantino. And he said, I wasted my whole life with losers, bro. Not like losers, but people that would just waste time. And trust me, they leave your life. And I start going into those devious thoughts of all the people that aren't alive, people that have been friends with me for a long time. They're not in this life. And I lost 3 friends last time I went around the world for the 3rd time. Now I'm doing a 4th trip. And at least this time I got a little bit of money instead of running around crazy, So it's just a blessing as the sun shines on me to dictate my life. I can go for walks whenever I want. I don't have a boss. I'm my own boss. I dictate my own hours. And if I'm going to dictate my life, dictation, I'm going to tell it to be on an adventure. And it's not predictable, but it is free. And that's what I wanted mostly than anything. Some guy asked me, this old man stopped me at the bridge the other day. I don't know if I have my Saints Addiction logo on this shirt, but he's like, what's that logo? And I was like, it means ultimate. What's that symbol mean? That anarchy symbol mean? And I said, it means ultimate freedom. I don't think I said ultimate because I don't think he spoke that much English. I said freedom. And that's all it is. It's the freedom to choose your life and say, I want my adventure to grow. I want it to develop in front of me and be all these things, all these places all over the world, and envision things and bring the vision into reality before I'm deceased. Before it's all over, and it gets over quick. I just saw one girl, one of my reliable models, she's like, I'm 31, no kids, no relationship. And I'm just like, fuck, we should date. But that's what it is. It's a falling apart. And just like I just watched it, I sat there in the park yesterday. I just watched these guys roll by. They look like they've been doing drugs. And the guy was trying to convince me of alpha PPV. And there he was wasting away. And I'm like, did you even eat breakfast, bro? And no, all he wanted to do was smoke his glass pipe. And I was like, I can't believe I'm in a park listening to this shit, And I wasn't judging it. I'm nobody's judge. I was just asking him, like, how long does it last? He's like, oh, it lasts me about 3 hours. Okay, and it's the only thing he wants to do. More than eat. I asked him, I said, my addictions are food, sex, and weed. What are yours? And he was just like, alpha PPV. And I'm just like, bro, then what? Then food. And I'm like, it doesn't make you hungry. It just makes you horny. And he was like, yeah, that's all he wants to be is high and horny. And I can't say that I blame him, but they just makes their whole bodies just deteriorate. And then you're going to have to sit that same hospital, like all of us eventually, and be like, what did I do with my time? And I think they're wasting it. That's my judgment. I'm just like, what a waste of fucking time. I'm like, I'm going to go eat, bro. I'll see you later. And I'm sure he went to go smoke some more. I'm not interested in wasting my life, bro. I documented my whole way around the world, and I've taken some L's, bro. And I could keep going on, but it's just like that. That's what life is like. It's got wins and losses. It's got ups and downs. It's got smiles and frowns. And all of us have the opportunity to ride this wild ride called our life. High life, baby. High life, baby. So, I'm encouraging people. This is why I do the morning motivation. Go outside. Motion creates emotion. Keep walking. Keep yourself healthy. Thinking healthy thoughts help. Having healthy mantras, having healthy friends, outlets that can keep you, healthy outlets that can keep you motivated so that you can keep moving this thing called your life before it ends. And I said it once and I'll say it again. Not every man dies, but not every man lives. Like from Braveheart, movies on shirts. So I just keep growing it. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for the voice AI system. Even while I sleep, it transcribed the whole conversation so I can wake up and make a little bit more money, and then I can earn my more money so I can go to Vietnam and keep going on with my adventure. And I live for these people. It encourages me. My friend Stroke encourages me to exercise. It's like, bro, you better stay on this exercise game. Yes, I will. After I get off this, I'll be on my stretch routine. And then I can go eat some breakfast. Now I have enough money where I can buy my fruits, get that in my system, my granolas, you know what I mean, my yogurts, and just get this body going, get this mind going so that the body can go and then my soul can go. And then I'm in the place to edit videos and create new designs and develop my ideas and develop Intersect.ai. It's all part of the plan. I promise you that. I can promise you that. So this morning, ask yourself before you have a stroke, before you have something, car accident, or what else happens that happens to all the homeless and people like that, where they all have, the situations, bro. They all will arise, bro, in our lives with our guys, but I did no wrong about it. Should have cherished me. Anyway, lyrics on shirts, but dude, it was a whole fucking thing was just like, what? She said, you better call your boy. And I said, who, what? Yeah, she said, you better call your boy John. And I was like, what happened? Yeah, he had a stroke on Friday. I'm like, what the fuck? Today's Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not quite sure, but I'm like, damn, dude, that was right before the weekend and it's not predictable, and now your whole left side doesn't work. You better start using your left and working your jab before it gets froze up. You got to start using your youth and your muscles and your ideas before they get frozen up, and maybe even freeze your eggs or start having babies or get married. Take the chance. At least you had the experience. That's something that they can't take away from you. I forget who had the quote, but it was one of these guys. I think it's the guy that says the art of not giving a fuck. I follow him. I subscribe to him. You should be subscribing to me. Subscribe to him on YouTube, and he posts a lot of quotes. And he said the two things that they can't take away from me is my knowledge and experience. All these places that I traveled, I thought about my ex-girlfriend Mira, and I'm like, oh my God, if I never dated her, if I never gone to Thailand, I would have never dated her. And if I never dated her, I never would be in Finland, and I wouldn't have had these beautiful experiences to see all these, meet these cool people and see all these seasons change and see these sites like the Murky that they're going to this weekend, or send off a shirt to Jyväskylä, where it's the middle of Finland. I got a girl, big old titties, going to be wearing the Only Slut shirt, the first of its kind, and the other girl, it dropped it off at Germany. She never wore it. She never made it. Fell off. She apologized. Like, some of these girls just block and delete their page, and it's just like all that hard work goes to where, like, you want to make sure that you got it so it comes out of you. You know what I mean? Like, I created the Saints Addiction system because I needed an idea factory. I needed something where if I put the idea in, it'll get spit out and something would happen. It wouldn't just be an idea, but an action would happen. Something would take place. It would start to develop, and it become like a napkin sketch, and then it becomes a logo, and then it becomes a shirt, then it becomes a design, and it starts expanding my mind. And I did something with my time versus just sat around and nothing happened. No, I can go back and go, oh my God, I've been there. I started talking like, have you ever been to Vietnam? No, but I've been going to Thailand for the last 15 years. I had no idea that was going to be part of my pattern. And Finland too, for the last 15 years. I had no idea that this was going to be part of my routine. How could even Finland even be on my map from the little kid from Little Boulder City? It never ceases, these hips never cease to shock me, So as my knees start to hitch, they like to buckle a little bit, and these shoes got holes in it, They got a little hole in it, the Saint slides, you can only get them from me, and I wholesale these, I look back at all these videos that I've done, and it's really cool because, like Video in a Sec, you just drop it in and it splinters into like 30 different shorts, and you're seeing clips of yourself in 1 minute increments living, actually alive, actually doing something with my time, actually doing something with my life. So this is one of these things that I implore you to just start walking. All the avid thinkers were walkers. Bill Gates, Aristotle, or was it Plato? All just walking and thinking, because now you're not in froze mode. You're not on the couch. You're not wasting, but you're actually thinking and doing. And that's what I was really excited about. It's not just a matter of, somebody said, I forget what the fuck it was. Now I'm high, but it was something of, there was like wanting or doing, you know? It's like the people that take action in their lives and say, okay, let me just put on the shoes. As simple as getting out of the bed, and the thought takes place. And next thing you know, you got your shoes on, you're on your bike, you're outside, fresh air. You come back to the house, you're singing, you're whistling, you feel better. You know what I mean? Like, it's all of those things. And we all have the capacity to do it. It's how many of us actually take action to do it, you know, to give ourselves the opportunity to say, hey, I at least lived my life before I died, before I had a stroke. I took a swing, you know, about swing over stroke, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. It's a connecting. I'm telling you, it's every part of my day that I shaped, and I said, okay, I'm so happy right now. You know, when I was in Thailand, how do I keep this going? And I've been developing ever since. I'm getting everybody giving me a 17 years of sobriety on Saints Addiction on LinkedIn, congratulating me on this business that I started so long time ago, almost 2 decades ago. And all I wanted was it to fucking spit me little income so I could keep traveling. That's all I did. I built a business that I could keep traveling, and it would make money, because when you're traveling, you know, it's all outcome and there's no income. So I just kind of reversed it. Am I rich yet? Not yet, but it's happening. And then all of a sudden, it's all part of it. You know, it's part of the plan that I can go and exercise these demons and go move my body and make my life something into a reality, instead of a dystopia where I'm mad at myself for past mistakes, instead of doing something with the mistakes or learning from them and saying, okay, that's experience. I would let it torture me and be like, okay, you know, it's all bad. Let's sit on the couch. Let's go get some Taco Bell, and let's go drone out for 3 hours on a fucking documentary on YouTube. No, I'm the guy on YouTube, like, get off this fucking thing, go for a walk, get some exercise, do some breathing exercises, fucking make your life move, you know, like, get it going before you have a stroke, before you have an accident, before something bad befalls you. Everybody likes to judge the homeless people, but it could happen to you. Your house could catch fire, your dad could have a stroke, someone could die in your family, and then tell me what would you do, right? You know, what would Jesus do? What would you do? What are you gonna do when it all falls down? Do 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 do. You know what I mean? So before it all falls down, you know, make sure you get up. That's this morning's motivation. Make sure you get up so you can show up before somebody punches your clock, and then the game's completely over, and there are people that aren't here no more. I told my friend I want to take him out for lunch because we got into a fight, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stay stubborn. Let me take you out to lunch. You bought me plenty of lunches. Let me pay you back. Let's talk about it, because our friend died on this trip. When I first got here, I was blessed to see her, but like, she only lived for a month, and the next thing I know, she's not here anymore. Shout out to Tula, rest in peace, you know. And she came all the way to Las Vegas from Finland to come visit me and say hello. Just a nice, sweet lady, and I got to see there and hang out with her before she passed away. And it's just another evidence. Every time somebody dies or has a stroke or something bad befalls them, it's like a message to me, like, hey, you better get in action, you know, you better do something. And maybe nobody's watching, and sure, it's not 10,000 subscribers yet, but eventually all this hard work pays off, and then you get to where you want to be instead of where you dream to be. It actually happens. So I love living my dreams, you know. It's one thing to just have visions, but I like bringing them into reality. And the reality is, my friend had a stroke on Friday. And it don't matter if you have a cool truck. It don't matter if you have a beautiful little daughter. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million business, you know. You're going to want your health, you know. You're going to want to have a quality of life. So life is the best game going, and that's what I keep telling people. Time is not important. Only life is important. So do something with your time. You know, that was from The Fifth Element. If anybody else realizes, movies on shirts, you know, that, you know, time isn't important, but life is, you know. And the quality of it, and the existence of it, and the passing of time, the enjoyment of the passing of time, is what this is all about. So as my phone wants to die, I'm having a blessed morning. I'm going to keep stretching, do my push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups, whatever. Oh, stretch these demons, and let it all sink in, because I'm grateful to have lived. I'm so grateful to have gone so many places and seen so many sights with little to nothing but my willpower. And that's one of my shirts. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You already know. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, baby, because that's where I be. Peace. I love it. I love my life! I love my life. And that I'm grateful for. Chigata. Wait. Yep. I'll see you on the other side.